Hello there, this is tmib and this is another Godforge video. The patch notes from the upcoming alpha have been leaked online. You've probably seen several videos from other content creators going over them. However, I decided that I should probably also go over them. First up is the introduction paragraph. The final alpha wave awaits. The final alpha wave starts in 2 days from my recording of this video, on the 3rd. Over the past few weeks, Scions have faced many challenges in the Caverns of Chaos and now descend one last time. Our final wave of alpha is here, and we have a number of updates and bug fixes in preparation for the challenge ahead. The feedback provided by the community has been essential in helping craft the best possible experience and ensure a fair challenge awaits all players. Now, part of the reason why they mention ensuring a fair challenge is because that Wave 3 is bringing something new, which is a contest. They will be announcing more information about the contest and the rewards in a forthcoming video. I believe that will be on the Fateless YouTube channel and will probably feature Hell Hades talking about it. Next up is we have Bleeds, Blaze, and more. Bleeds have been in the alpha since Scions first entered the Caverns, but due to their unique stacking nature have not always presented correctly. This update introduces changes to both the visual experience and its core functionality. Now Bleeds will correctly show the number of active bleeds on the enemy, and we have bug fixed the core issue, allowing more than 10 bleeds to be placed. In addition, heroes such as Achilles can now remove the bleeds to unlock powerful damage upgrades. In addition, all bosses held a passive that reduced incoming damage from debuffs such as Bleed, Blaze, and Acid. These effects were expected to deal 25% of their original damage, when in reality they were dealing full damage. In this upcoming version, this passive will now also be active, so make sure you check out other strategies for defeating the mighty Fafnir. So there's 2 takeaways from this. The first is that removing stacks of bleed previously by Achilles and Dracula were not functioning properly, that you could have more than 10 bleeds on the boss, which means that you were doing substantially more damage than you should have been. And lastly, the damage that you should have been doing was much, much higher because it was not being limited the way it was supposed to by the passive. All said and done, this means that the strategy that was discussed in Discord of leveling up Achilles or Dracula to level 40 and just putting them in your group to beat level 120 is no longer going to fly. So, moving right along. Generators, weapons, and divinity balance. One of the key discoveries in Alpha Wave 2 by Scions was the ability to generate significant amounts of divinity, leading to unintended gameplay experiences. In this update, we have taken steps to rebalance the number of divinity ultimate generators. Previously, these would in some cases generate from actions by heroes outside of their turn, such as if an ally received a buff. Now generators will be focused on the hero, requiring them to perform the actions to earn the divinity. So this is a pretty big change. It is going to drastically change the way some of the imprints are used in the game. It means that you won't be able to use some of the features that you had been using previously to increase the number of attacks you got. And generally speaking, is going to change how I build my teams completely. Similarly, a number of weapons could be stacked to create team-wide bonuses, leading to significant imbalance. Weapons have received a similar treatment, with many bonuses being adjusted to focus on actions by the hero wielding the weapon. We also have taken the steps to update several weak weapons to provide more options to players. This list is extensive, so make sure you check out the weapons and heroes when you start your descent. One of the weapon changes that I'm aware of is Heka, which I'll go over that change in a little bit. But for now, let's move along. New and updated features. Bleeds now display their stack counts on heroes, as well as bosses. Bleeds now correctly are removed by the following heroes: Achilles and Dracula. Updated and rebalanced several weapons. Updated and rebalanced several Divinity Ultimate Generators. Added a count to the hero roster. Added wave turn and battle time to the battle experience. Updated Dagonet's passive. Previously, this has a 50% chance to join attack when attacking an enemy below 50 hit points. It is now a 50% chance to increase turn meter by 5% when placing a debuff. Now, the imprint version of Dagonet's passive was, I believe, a 15% chance to join attack when attacking an enemy below 50%. I imagine that the new version of that has a 25% chance to increase turn meter by 5% when placing a debuff. Shamash now places shield on overhealing on his ultimate instead of barrier. I'll be going over this a little bit more later. Fafnir will now ignore Immortal in addition to shields, barriers, wards after Fafnir casts his ultimate 20 times. Fafnir stage 151 will now end after 500 turns have taken place in battle. Fafnir stage 151 will now end after 500 turns have taken place in the battle. Previously in Alphas 1 and 2, there was no limit and you had to just keep going until you died. Fafnir and Golden Guardian stats at higher levels have been increased. This means that the higher the stage that you're in, the more stats they're going to have, the tougher the fight. Economy updates. Increased the drop rate of epic heroes on stages 60 to 120. Increased better quality armor drop rates in stages 60 plus. Updated the guaranteed epic and legendary heroes on stages 20 and 30. Now what I take this to mean is that there is a pool of heroes that is available on those two levels when you're guaranteed to get one of them, and the pool itself has changed. Now this doesn't mean that you're going to get a worse or a better legendary or epic. What it does mean is that there is a pool of heroes that are available for you to get at that levels, and I believe that that pool has changed. Adding an eternal-only farming at stage 125 for alchemy stones. There was really no place in the last alpha to farm for eternal alchemy stones. This is a good fix. Bug fixes. Fixed several issues relating to hero AI behavior. The AI was absolutely terrible in Wave 1 and 2. I'm hoping that this means that it will be slightly better. Fixed a number of issues causing challenges and stages to not grant rewards. There were a few stages that were reported to be bugged, where you just could not get a 2-star reward on them. Fixed a number of issues relating to using ultimates on star challenges. There were a number of star challenges where you had to use a specific number of ultimates or more than a specific number of ultimates during the course of the 3 waves. I believe that this just fixes that. Fixed several issues with armor set bonuses. You may have noticed on the leaderboards that there were several scores that were in the "we broke the leaderboard" category. These were due primarily to the armor set bonuses being borked and having the bonuses being re-added again and again and again. Fixed an issue causing Shishi to place barrier on all allies when receiving debuffs. That is the way it was supposed to work in the first place. The fact that Shishi could put out barriers on the entire party was not the way this ability was supposed to work, so I think this is a good fix. Fixed an issue with shields and barriers generating at quantities greater than designed. This is kind of a big one for me. I routinely used both barrier and shields on my party in order to try to get my shields and barriers big enough where my heroes just never took damage. I would have liked to see how some of the other changes played out first prior to nerfing the generation amount, but we'll see what happens. Fixed an issue where bosses would not reduce the damage from Blaze, Bleed, and Acid. This was already previously mentioned. Fixed an issue that would cause you to skip a turn after selecting imprints or passives in battle. I wasn't aware that you could select imprints or passives in battle, but I guess that's a good thing. Updated the localization of several abilities to correct errors and improve clarity. Making things easier to read is always a good thing. Fixed an issue that would cause promotion events to fail if a player's gold value was in a specific range. Fixed several issues causing leaderboards to not show progress. This is a really, really big one because of the contest. That's all for the final alpha update. Be sure to join our Discord and get involved in chat. Now let's quickly go over some of the visual changes. First up is stage 125. You'll notice that there are now Eternals available to be farmed on this level of 2 different size categories, rarity categories. Next is the star indicator. The star indicator is up in the left-hand corner when you're looking at the Caverns of Chaos itself. Next up is the roster indicator with how many heroes you have. As you can see, prior it didn't have anything there, and now it does. Next up is the wave counter. You'll notice that where before you didn't have anything, now you have a timer, a wave count, and a turn count that is displayed in the upper left-hand corner while you're in battles. Dagone's passive has changed greatly, as mentioned. Here's what it looked like before and what it looks like now. Shawmash's ultimate has been changed. You can see here that his barrier modifier has been changed from 50% to shield of 50%. And you can see that his gain divinity has gone from gains 60 divinity when an ally joins an attack to gains 50 divinity when causing an ally to join the attack. Reducing the number from 60 to 50 feels right to me. Changing it so that it's only when he makes an ally join an attack really means that instead of having multiple heroes that have gain attack abilities, that you can only at most get 200 divinity. I do feel that this will probably slow down Shawmash substantially and may have been too big of a nerf, but only time will tell. Next up is Aphrodite's ultimate. Aphrodite's ultimate has a number of different changes in it. The first thing that really stands out is that it dropped from a 20% to a 15% divinity and turn meter increase. I feel that this was needed. You'll also note that it says it removes all disable and debuffs. I don't believe that it actually did that. It could be wrong, but I don't remember doing it. Her divinity increase went from gain 70 when placing a buff on an ally to gain 30 when placing a buff on an ally. This is a very substantial decrease. However, I do feel that she had way too much divinity generation, and lowering it back down so that she can't use her ultimate every single round is probably a good thing. That's all I have for you today. If you found this information useful or would like to see more Godforge videos, please mash that like and subscribe button below. Until next time, Forge on.